You're alive?
Right. Hello everyone. How you all doing? So my name is Sid Salton. I'm the director of the Sid Salton Academy. We're based here in Edinburgh, Scotland. So yeah, so I do apologize for running a little bit late. We're just having a little technical difficulties, so I do sincerely apologize. So tonight I have a gorgeous model. Her, I actually don't know her name. I just call her the crazy German girl. What's her name? Sophie, yeah, it is Sophie. Sorry, I've had a very difficult day. But Sophie, so she came in, we actually did a nice detoxifying treatment. Then what we then did was we actually did more like a demi color from Aveda, just to really give her hair a little more tone and gloss. I will be talking about the color later on. But tonight I'm going to be doing a fabulous, very salon friendly type of style. It's something that's more like, I don't want to say a fixer-upper for her, but you know, when I was talking to Sophie, that there was a few areas of concern from her previous haircut she's had before in the past. So we're going to hopefully make her a very happy Sophie today, yeah? So, yeah, we're really going to be working the techniques we're going to really focus on tonight. Is actually going to be especially forward over direction, okay? And also working with external graduation, going internal graduation, and then going into layering as well. So yeah, so you'll see tonight I'm going to be starting, it is 7 p.m. here in Edinburgh, Scotland, so I do apologize for any of the Americans. I know it's probably in the afternoon. What I'll be doing is I'm going to be starting in the front panels first. Now, you'll see I will be working with a diagonal section here. So by working a diagonal section, I can then create round graduation. Because as we know, round shape is shorter in the front, going longer in the back. So she did have kind of like a bang area or a previous fringe area that, okay, maybe wasn't done the best way. So what we're going to be doing tonight, and I do apologize, I just want to make a big announcement. We have my lovely camera lady, Jennifer. So she's going to be your voice tonight. So if you have any questions, please throw it at us. And also, please shout out where you're calling from or where you're watching from. And yeah, so we'll go into that. So then I will need to stand over here. So what will happen is, now if you can see kind of like her previous fringe area. So what I need to do, because we're going to like still keep her hair long, but what I need to do is I need to give you more of like a fluid shape to that. So by doing so, what I'm going to be doing, so like you can see some of that old fringe. So I'm going to use that kind of like as a visual guide. Now what I'm going to be doing is my elevation, all right, for the perimeter, is I'm going to try and keep it quite low. Now as I'm working from the middle area, the bridge, going down, I want to maintain, you know, her hair being longer. So when I'm going to be using inside my fingers with graduation, but because I'm going down, I want to maintain my elbow to my rib cage to keep my elevation very low. If my elbow is up high, I might round it off too much, and then the haircut will go short, and she'll walk out of here looking like me. We don't want that to happen. So what we're going to be doing, making sure we're going to tilt. Okay, if you can see, we're going to use that as a guide. And going from shorter to longer. Now because of this, you see that little dip here, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to slightly almost angle it inwards a little bit to create a little extra weight. So that will hopefully compensate. Then, as you see, I'm going to be going downwards. Now this is a very, very salon-friendly look. We do this all the time in the salon. Now you can see it's now, you see in loose bits, going from shorter to longer. And then eventually, you see here. Now each section that I do, I'm going to be increasing my elevation. So first, I'm down here. As I go further back, my elevation will increase. Like so. Then the back area will then be layering, where I'm being pulled straight from the head, and I will be working a round shape with the layering. Now, as I continue, So making sure I take diagonal sections. By working diagonally, like I said, I'm really going to be directing that direction of weight in the direction I want to go in. So I want it to be from shorter to longer. So I do apologize, I have to stand here now.
Catherine's asking, how long have you been a hairdresser for?
Let's see, I've been doing hair for 34 years now. Yeah, 34 years, so I'm a bit of an old one. I had originally started off in barbering, and then at a very young age, and then went into ladies. Now, I've been teaching for about, I think about like 25 years now, 24 years. So, yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, Catherine. Okay, so as you can see now, I'm going to be increasing my elevation. And I'm going from shorter to longer. Now, right now, normally, because I'm doing the video here, my body position, of course I'm standing in front of my desk here. Now, what I would normally do a lot of times in the salon, I would actually, because I'm a guy, you know, I don't want to be invading her private space here. So, I would also stand this way, working over my fingers, but making sure my elevation was correct. Now by working this forward, okay, and you'll see, sorry, it is a little bit more easier for myself to go here. And I'm going from shorter to longer, okay? Now, like I said, so what will happen is the internal area of the graduation, okay, so the external will be more the perimeter shape here. And what I'm doing is making sure that I over-direct everything. So I'm raising this up higher. Okay? Now, really over-directing everything forward. Like I said, I really want to maintain low. And like I said, really just going from shorter.
You're right in front of her.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I don't mean to be in front of the camera. I apologize. I'm being yelled at again. So if there's any questions about what I'm doing, please tell, write in the comment section. Let us know, and hopefully I'll be able to answer anything. So if you do have any questions, please let us know.
Mohammed says I'm seeing that you're creating art on her head.
Oh, thank you, Mohammed. Yeah, I'm actually, like I said, I promise I won't be too creative with her. Even though she is an art student, but she wants to not look like an art student. She wants a nice, very pretty look. So I'm literally just want to give a nice, very salon-friendly look. Like I said, the color we had used was a Veda Demi Plus, which is a demi-permanent colorant. And what happened was we used a level 8N with half ratio of the ON. And also then we also used white copper. So we did 8 grams of that. So really you'll see what will happen is you're going to see when it's all dry, you'll see more of the coppery tone come out. Because when hair is wet, it does look a little bit darker. So. Alright, so I'm now going to continue. So what will happen is, as I continue here, my sections are still going to be curved, just so when I over-direct everything forward, it will have a nice continuous blend with the weight distribution. Then you'll see I will then incorporate vertical sections to reduce the weight with the layering. Then I'll be doing the opposite side. So. hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So. But yeah, so Jen, I forgot to ask you my favorite question. Is anyone watching yet?
Yes, there's about 100 people watching.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. And quite a few people saying hi. I'm watching from Yakima. I'm watching from St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Oh, wow.
Malaysia.
It's amazing. So we got Malaysia, St. Vincent's. Is that, I want to say, it's not in New York, St. Vincent's Hospital, is it? I hope you're not in the hospital. But yeah, so I'm originally from New York, but I've lived in the UK for about now, I think it's about like 22 years now. So, but Edinburgh's my home. I moved up here to be with the lovely camera lady, Jennifer, and she hasn't kicked me out yet, so I guess I'll be here for a little bit. But we moved up the business here, just because if you ever been to Edinburgh, Scotland, it's absolutely gorgeous. So we do have a brand new hair salon. Now I'm filming right now in the hair salon area because my business partner took our normal filming spot, but you know, I'll have a word with him later about that, you know. But we also have a separate barbershop and also a separate training academy, and it's like massive here. So we will be like, we've only been open about like a month, so we're still like doing some building work, we're just still figuring everything out, you know, trying to find everything and so forth. So yes, so we will be having our courses. So we get, it's very easy in a way to get here. So we have an international airport. So like for example, last year we had a lot of American students and also from Holland as well. And yes, so it's we're getting like, you know, it's really great to be with so many different individuals, the students that come from all around to be here.
We have some people watching from Canada.
From Canada? Oh, yes. Perfect. I've been to Canada
and there's
before.
some people watching from Israel.
Israel? Oh, perfect. I've always wanted to go to Israel.
Me too.
Never been. I would love to. So you can see going from that shorter to longer look. So really kind of, you're going to see what else is going to happen is that when I do the layering, it's really going to give a nice flow to it. Now, especially because like with Sophia's hair itself, so it's, I want to try and create the illusion, creating more width to the hair, so giving more body that way. So because our hair is quite, it's also, it's very, it is like such a nice, lovely hair to cut, to be honest with you, and it's just like, just by creating this type of shape, you know, I want to make her life a little bit easier. So especially when it grows out, you know, like I said, she's in art school, so like, you know, usually like, you know, she never has time. You know, she's always like doing stuff. You know, she's visiting from Germany right now. She's visiting her friends, so which is great. So why not get your hair done here, and hopefully she'll be going back to Germany happy. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, we're maintaining length, so don't worry, you still have hair. So what I'm now going to be doing is focusing on working with the layering. Now, the reason why I'm doing one side at a time is because I want to show you guys this, for any of like the beginners or anyone that struggles with this type of style, I want to show you this twice. That's why I'm doing one side complete, then I finish on the other side complete, so you see this twice during this live tutorial. Now, I'm going to continue here, so by separating, just want to make sure this is a bit clearer for you to see on the camera. So yeah, so I mean for myself, it's just like working like, you know, originally I was like, oh, I'll do a creative look, and then, but then I was like, when Sophia came and we talked about during the consultation, and she's like, oh, you know, just something like, you know, like not classic, but not too creative or anything. So that was the whole point, was like trying to create something very salon friendly, but you know, very attractive as well. So something still very girly, you know, and it's something like a very salon favorite. Now, as I'm coming up, you'll see I'm working round. Working over my fingers now. So whenever I do layering, I work over my fingers, and then with the graduation, I work inside my fingers. So I'm going to continue. So my sections are now going like this.
Mohammed asked if you could talk about the type of faces that are suitable for different haircuts.
Yeah, that's not a problem. So that's a very, that's like a whole lecture on itself right there. But I'll give you a couple little pointers, if that's okay, Mohammed. So what happens is, a lot of times, so it's when we have to be quite careful. So just say if you have, for example, someone with very strong, long rectangular face, or very oblong, or like almost like quite oval, very narrow, what happens is if you create maybe too much height, you're going to make them appear taller or maybe skinnier. So certain techniques, okay, is recommended. For example, if the gentleman or the woman's face is very large or very wide. Now, I mean, once again, do we want to create maybe too much graduation? Which graduation creates width. So I think the thing is, it's a lot of times it's kind of doing the opposite. So for example, if the person has a very, very possibly round face, what I might do is I might tend to give it a more squarish shape. So it literally all kind of depends there, Mohammed. So there's a lot to go through. But also, once again, if the person is maybe quite strong and square, well, what happens is we have to be quite careful if we do a very graphic, heavy fringe, because they might feel very enclosed in a way, or very, short in the face. Or, for example, we also have to take a look to see if their hairline, for example, or their forehead, if it's quite short, quite small, turn into a heavy fringe, it might look like it disappears. So it all kind of like depends really on what, really the individual. Trying to create for the individual, is one of the key important factors. So, but hopefully, I would like to go a bit more further into this for you, Mohammed, but it's so much to talk about, so that's like a whole, whole tutorial right there. Now, what I'm now doing is, if you see, I'm just behind the ear, so that's my final section here. I will be over-directing this back. Okay? If you see, it's only just a small wee bit, a small tiny bit. That's okay. So I'm just working this through, so you can see still long hair. Now, what will happen is, when I want to check this, I will then be using, cross-checking sections. So what that means is, before I did vertical, now I go horizontal. That means taking sections across the head like so. Then when I cross-check towards this area, well, what then happens, because I did diagonal sections this way, I can also go back that way with that to check it. Now, I'm going to continue. Going up. There we go. And just when we're cross-checking, we're just taking very small bits off. If you see, they're like little shavings. Okay? Like, if you have to take a lot off, if you see these long straggle bits, okay, what I would suggest is stop, restart your haircut, because you've lost your way. Alright? So that's a good, really helpful sign. So by going across the head, like so, picking this up, taking this tiny, like little shavings. I mean, if I go up a little bit closer to the camera, you can see they're very, very small amounts of hair. So you always want to cross-check your haircut, once again, to really perfect. Now, the thing is, definitely, if you do a lot of waving in your salons, or big round brush blow dries, definitely cross-check your haircuts for that accuracy. Because when you start waving the hair afterwards, and you start doing big bouncy blow dries, what happens is, you won't be able to cross-check your haircut properly when you're all done, because you're going to ruin all those waves and bouncy blow dry. So for now, when the hair is wet, make sure that cross-section is absolutely spot on. Any questions, Jen? Anything?
We have a question.
Sorry?
We do have a question.
Oh.
Mohammed also asked, he has a problem with his dominant hand because he was left-handed.
Okay.
Do you have any solutions to level it out?
Okay, so what will happen is, so if you're left-handed, your left side will always be your easier side. Now, right-handed, your right side will be easier. Now, what will happen is, what I strongly recommend, now if you're left-handed, start on your right side. Always, if you can. Because then, that means you'll eventually get used to being on your right side, even though you're left-handed, and it will make your hair cutting a lot easier for you. And vice versa for lefties or righties. So that's what usually I recommend to my students. Now, being left-handed, once again, so a lot of times, Mohammed, since I'm right-handed, what I would like you to do is if you could watch this live tutorial through a mirror, everything will be reversed and I'll be cutting left-handed. All right, so that will hopefully help you if you're a left-handed hair cutter. Now, what will happen is as well, so now I will be just doing a tiny bit of layering here, just for the transition from the graduation into the back of the layering. So my sections will be going vertical, like so, and I will be subtly over-directing back. So that means, so just for that nice transition. Continue. And here we go. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm now going to cross-check. Now, if you notice, I didn't go all the way to the front. Why? It's not going to reach. Okay, so especially we're keeping that fringe as long as possible, the bang area. And like I said, we just did a more of like a blend, so it doesn't feel like it's here and then the length is down here. So we had it blended through. So it makes it a bit more, kind of like a very universal way to help her with her styling. So if she wants a big bouncy blow dry, or if she wants to wear it natural, so meaning let it air dry, or if she wants to wave it, or if she wants to do like a little ponytail, it's all going to look great together. So it won't feel like it's like short, you know, which will give her nightmares and like, you know, resentments towards that, you know, botched up bang job here, and then with the length here. So that's what we're blending it through. Now, what will happen? So I will now be checking this, making sure. So I'm actually taking sections across this way. And you see there's a tiny bit of weight that will be the transition from the graduation going into the layering. All right, so you always have that in your way.
I have a question for you.
Oh yes.
With your layering, could you take it as like short as you want?
Okay, now the only thing is, okay, can you take it as short as you want? Now, to help answer that, okay, so now what will happen is you have the kind of like, you have that bit of a, like, once again, the shorter the layers, then you'll be changing the shape. So for example, so what will happen is just say sometimes, if you want more of that rock and roll, maybe from the 70s type of influence, or even like Farrah Fawcett, or you know, like Rod Stewart, or I was about to say Ramones, like Rolling Stones, what you'll end up doing, you can do concave layering, which is the layers are from shorter to longer, so when it falls on the head, you have shorter bits going into the overall length. So you can do that. So it's not just about, remember, taking the hair shorter with the layers, but it's also, remember, changing your shape. Now, if you want to keep the hairs maybe a wee bit longer or a bit more heavier with the layering, you might do square layering, okay? Now, since with the layering here, I worked more of a round layering technique. The reason why is because a round shape is a lot lighter than a square shape, because a square shape has corners. Yeah. Now, also a round shape is a bit more feminine shape. All right, especially for longer hair. Okay. The reason why is the way it's going to swing. I want something very versatile for her. So if she wants to do a big bouncy blow dry, she can. If she wants to wear it, like you might even style very natural. The reason why we want to maybe style natural because she's more like a natural type of girl. All right, nothing like big ringlets or anything. Okay, so a bit more natural, a bit more Cape Mossy feel, a little beachy look. So this is looking good. I got this nice, you can start seeing some of the color come out. So, so a bit more of like a coppery feel to it. So, and coming through here. Then we're now going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to be doing this side here. Not crying yet, no? No? Okay.
It's like the sweetest comment. Mohammed says, that you're going from a pretty woman to an angel with this haircut.
Oh, smooth character, Ray.
I know.
I'm going to have to remember that. Okay, can you say it again, Jen?
Says, I see the pretty woman goes to be an angel with his touch.
Jen, can I say that to you tonight?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You go from a pretty woman to an angel with my touch. Smooth character, smooth criminal, Muhammad. I like Muhammad. Okay, so what's going to happen is, so we have, if you see here, that was that old kind of like bit of a doggy fringe. So we're doing a little fixer-upper. So we will keep and maintaining the length. Now, I might have to go back over it when it's dry, because once again, I'm not really touching that fringe area. So it might be a little bit uneven. So I will be taking a look at that when it's all dry. Now, the reason why is because sometimes fringes, they bounce up when the hair is wet and so forth. So I don't want her walking out of here with something about Mary. So I'm going to keep that longer, all right, and let it dry. And then I can go back over and use the point of my scissors. Or if you want, you can use a hair cutting razor. The choice is yours. So right now, since this is, okay, now when I stand in this way, this is, I guess, my right side. So, okay, what will happen is, when I pull this way, okay, now if you see with the dip here, I want to kind of, I'm pulling this out a little bit more. Now, the reason why, okay, all right, is to compensate for when this dries because of that area. I'm really trying to pull. Okay. And you see, I'm going to continue with my diagonal sections. Once again, so really going to be working with massive over direction forward. Now by doing that, okay, so I want to make sure it's wet enough. And also I've been using, because we just colored the hair, it's actually more like a demi-coloring. So I'm actually using the Color Control, which is a leave-in conditioner spray from Aveda, just to really help lock in the color. It almost like kind of forms like a protective coating, so especially against any of the elements, so such as from the sun, from pollution, and also from the use of the blow dryer and so forth. So really making sure that the color will be protected. I mean, we didn't have time to do what I wanted originally to do. I was gonna, maybe put some highlights, like almost like hidden highlights through. Kind of like a freehand coloring technique with some maybe little baby money pieces in the front. Okay. Did someone ask that?
Just me?
Oh, just you? Okay. Just to let you know, Jen is actually also a hairdresser as well, so sometimes. She's not just a camera lady. So, but yeah, so certain things, right? What happens when we get lost? Okay, so if you can't find your guide, what will happen is your section's too big, okay? Or the hair is not wet enough, or you're not focusing on your elevation enough. So your elevation or the way you comb the hair. So when we comb the hair, we want to make sure it's totally. You want to make sure your sections are perfect and you can see the sections. Okay, over directing forward. Make sure the hair is wet enough. Now, when I'm doing the perimeter shape, okay, so for example, when I'm working with that over direction for the graduation, as I'm lifting, if you see as well, to control my elevation, I come from the top here, instead of coming underneath, which that can throw my elevation off. Because remember, I will be layering this afterwards anyway. So there's, hopefully there's a couple of little pointers. Watch your elevation. Make sure, I'm tending to keep my elbow locked to my rib cage to control everything. And over directing this. Okay. And also check your haircut visually. See how this is going to be, I'm kind of letting this one side kind of dry naturally, so you guys will be able to see the overall shape so far. Now, so you kind of see, like the way, especially when this dries, when we dry it a bit more natural, the reason why I'm going to dry it natural is just so she can see how to style it herself at home. Or so she has a very natural look, something very wash and wear. So she still be she can still blow dry it straight. She can still run a couple irons through it. The choice is hers, But I think tonight's lesson I will be showcasing a bit more like a natural, working with a diffuser, working certain type of products from Aveda, working with the styling range, and also conditioning as well. So coming through, really working through this here. Again, anyone still watching, Jen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I always feel like I forget that I can't just hear someone talking except yourself, meaning it's like I don't know if anyone's still watching anymore. But next week,
I'm watching.
I'm sorry.
I'm watching.
Oh, I know you're watching. So next week, next Friday, I'm going to be doing a men's cutting tutorial. So I'm going to be using my favorite Andis clippers. I'm also an Andis educator, and we are hopefully going to be using some Aveda men's products as well. So yeah, so let me know in the comments section what type of haircut for a men's haircut would you like to see. So please let us know. And then hopefully Jen will be able to get me the model for it.
Yay!
Or my very sweet, loving German friends can help get me a beautiful male model.
Or you can use Louis.
Or Louis or my staff member. But I'm probably going to have to pay him to do my model for a haircut. You never know. He's a good lad. He's doing so good though. Yeah, he was helping my business partner Jordan put on hair color today. I mean, he's a young lad. He's an assistant. Well, at the moment he's a support member, assistant. So because he's learning barbering and everything. So, but he had to help today with the hairdressing side, and he did really good. He did really good. So if you can see here, I'm really pulling this forward. Okay. Now at this point, I'm working over my fingers, just so for my body position, also more for the camera. So now what will happen here, and work this down a bit, I'm now going to be working with the layering on this side. So Yeah, so let us know what type of men's haircut would you like to see in the video. Or if you want to see a wet shave. Alright? What am I doing wet shaving? I love my wet shaving. So I was very fortunate enough last year. We won quite a few awards. I won Wet Shaving Expert in Scotland award and also Men's Colorist award. Did we win anything else? Also, we also won in the past. We won Training Academy of the Year award. So yeah, some nice.
Yeah, no, last year it was shaving and colour.
Yeah, shaving and colour. Yeah.
I mean separately.
Oh, yes, yeah. Okay, so now if you can see, I'm going to be doing the opposite side here. I'm starting in the middle. Like I said, I am working with, okay.
So long, it doesn't fit in the camera.
I know, but I tell you.
Let's keep moving that.
Alright. And I was working in the barbershop today, so like I wasn't doing so many long haircuts like this, so my arms right now are killing me. so see, that's proof your hair's still long, alright? So. Okay, so as I move back, once again, same thing. And I'm trying to keep my elevation and my tension quite straight, so I'm not bending the hair, because when I do that, I bend or I relax the tension placed upon the hair. So I could just do a very quick check here just to see, yeah, okay, I'm on the right path. So I sometimes just do a very quick cross-checking section to check on both sides. Now, once again, I still have to cut the overall length in the back here, okay? I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have time before we started the video. So I do apologize. Normally I would have cut the overall length first, prior. So you'll see me do it. Okay, yep, okay, so I'm just gonna go back over here for a sec. So you see, I'm going to just make sure my sections. Okay, so now what will happen is, so my body position is going to change. So when I'm on, okay, so when I was on this side, you see, okay, what I mean my body position will change is that here I'll be more working forward, like that. So when my sections were going like this, my body still stayed the same, but I was walking forward. Now, when I do this side, same thing. I don't change my body itself. I'm actually just the way I change the way I walk with my sections. So instead of going forward, I'm actually going to go backwards. All right. So here, here, here. That will be my position. Now, the reason why is because I'm still going to continue creating that correct shape here, meaning from longer to shorter, working with the round layering. If I had then switched in between, I might be changing the weight distribution from either side. So hence why I'm keeping the same position. So, like I said, on the sides, it's not a lot that comes off because due to the fact that, you know, we were working with the graduation anyway. So I'm going to move this way, going through here. And like you see, I'm still going to be pulling, yeah, there we go. So there's a tiny bit of weight here. Still working with vertical sections. Now, why am I working with vertical sections? The reason why is because every time I use vertical sections, I will be reducing the weight. going to continue. Now, what will happen is I will have like a natural over direction. So if you ever want to make sure that you want to over direct more, your combing can over direct you back. So for example, if you want it coming straight from the head, like I will comb this side, then this side. But if you want to over direct it back, just comb it from this side only. If you want to over direct forward, you comb from this side only. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense, everyone. Mm-hmm. My audience over here says yes, and they're not hairdressers or barbers.
That was me then.
Oh, was that you? Oh, I thought that was, oh my God. I've actually warned my audience, right? Because like I said, they're crazy German ladies, German girls, and oh my God, they love to talk. So I said, you better not talk during my live video. And they didn't. I was sorry. I blamed you. So it's actually the crazy Italian woman here. So, okay, so we're gonna move on here. So like I said, working with that over direction back. Like I said, I'm still working with the layering. Like you see, it might look like I'm not taking anything off, but that's the thing is, it's not so much what you take off on the head of hair that counts, is what you leave on that matters. So what I'm doing is really kind of focusing on, you know, making the shape, because I want this to last her, you know, like, I want it to like grow in nice, because like, you know, she's going to Germany on Tuesday. I'll never see her again in my life, you know what I mean? But the thing is, I want to make sure that she has like kind of like an easy style to manage. So like I said, that's why cross-checking the haircut, taking small enough sections, really look for your guide, watch your elevation, and you'll see, you know. So right now, what will happen is I'm then going to be going down the middle, okay, down the apex area. That's the highest point of the skull. And what I'm going to be doing is I will be working slightly over, directing it forward. And I'm just going to be doing just beveling off. Most likely, most of the time, it's going to be like a little corner on top. I'm just going to just kind of bevel it, just so when that layer falls, it's not going to be like a block, you know. So by working this forward, and also it's a great way just to be able to check your layering or check your graduation as well. Any questions, Jen?
No.
I've been talking. Oh, it's been one of those days. So hopefully everyone's had a great time. If you're working in the salon today, or the barbershop, or the training school, or if you're a lovely model, I hope you guys had a great day. And once again, you know, every day is a learning day, which is amazing. And just keeping it, you know, we're keeping it very positive today. So, okay. Here we go. Okay, so what will happen now, literally just going to be, okay, just pulling this straight down. I'm literally just going to be just tidying up. So it's not a lot of hair that I'm cutting, so just pulling this straight down. I will be wetting it down a little bit as well, just by pulling this straight down. Yeah, I'm just literally just going to be just taking this little, yeah, there we go. Taking a very small amount off here. Just want to make sure. Yeah, so just taking, like I said, I didn't want to go too crazy. I'm going to see how it all pans out, but I really want to make sure that this is going to be very cool. And I think it's going to be. Cool. Are there any questions, Jen?
Nope.
No? Okay then. So what I'm doing is just, like I said, just checking, and then like so I now need to add a bit of product to the hair before I go ahead. I'm actually going to work with it very natural. So what that means is I'm going to be using a diffuser. So after I apply suitable product, and I'm going to be talking about that in a moment, I will be drying the hair. I mean, like, it's kind of like watching paint dry, so I do apologize. Drying with the diffuser is not the most exciting thing, it's very relaxing. So you'll see that the way I really want to try and bring out more of her natural texture. And that's one of the things is like about, let me just blow the hair over, like that. So what the key thing is, what I'm a true believer of, is like really embracing your client's natural texture and just really creating beautiful hair, beautiful, healthy hair. And also talking about the expectations with their hairstyle. Because one of the key important factors is who's the most important person inside the hair salon? Who is the returning client? Okay, so that's definitely a key important factor. So we will be now kind of starting off applying certain products to the hair. Now, so I want a little bit more, more volume. So I will be using a foam mousse from Aveda, okay, for moment. And what I'll be doing is I'm actually really going to be, going to be applying it through the hair. I'm actually going to use a large brush, or sorry, I apologize, a large comb. So I'm going to be combing it through the hair. It's just so I don't get my hands all sticky or messy or anything. But how's it looking, Jen?
Looks good.
Yeah? She's looking pretty?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm not going to ask her sister.
She was already pretty.
Okay. I mean, once again, using mousse, I usually sometimes put this in a brush. I decided to put in a comb just so I don't create any tangles or knots in her hair. I don't want to hurt her. So applying the product through. My voices.
Do you want some water?
Yeah, with that the occasion. Yeah. Just give me a glass of water so I can. Yeah. Just looking at some of her natural wave come out. Now, what I also like to do is I like to cocktail, especially when I'm working with that natural, I really want that kind of a beachy type of look. So I will be using, this is one of my favorite products, it's called Texture Tonic. Alright, so it's almost like, it's like the Vegas version of the sea salt spray, which is, this is great for giving that little grit to the hair, but also it's kind of it's also great for, we use a lot of it in the barber shop next door. So really going through. Now you can see me using this product on my Instagram page, which is Sid Stockton Academy. And yeah, so give us a follow. I'll give you a follow. Yeah, one big happy family. But yes, so I'm a regular educator doing free live videos here on Hairbrains, which is one of my favorite educational platforms. I am here right now in Edinburgh, Scotland. Thank you so much. And we're here at the Jordan Alexander Salon, also home of the Sid Stockton Academy. And yes, so we will be, going to be rocking and rolling. So if you ever come to Edinburgh, Scotland, please come by. Yeah, check us out. So, and also I'm sure you get to see the lovely Jen here as well. So, coming to bring me water.
Yeah. Saving Sid.
Yeah, saving me from losing my voice. Okay, so now a lot of times, so depending, there's a lot of depending on how you want to style the hair, I see we can't lose the art of blow drying. Real blow drying, not just rough drying it and just throwing tongs or irons through it. Let's kind of let's revisit, let's re-educate your clients about working with their natural texture. Or, when you do, it's just a natural blow dry. So I think that's, because right now it's been very, very set hair. So the movement, there hasn't been a lot of natural movement. So today, like I said, I'm going to be using a diffuser. Now, once again, so in this case, I'm just going to be tilting Sophia's hair this way. And you can go up this way. So I'm still going to do a tiny bit. Okay. Now it's not super hot. I do want to work, like I said, I'm going to try and like keep her hair very healthy. So I don't want to be working this too much or too, what's the word? I don't want her hair to be, over processed or over dry in the blow dryer. You can see, I'm very gentle. I'm not going to be like working with my fingers too much. All right. So especially at this point here, I just want it to be. I want the fingers. I want the prongs inside the diffuser to do all the work, to show a bit more separation. And then by angling her head, okay, that's when we can get, let gravity do all the work. Now, a lot of times, if what I also do, I also put my client's head or the neck on the base of the chair and I let the hair hang. All right, so that's something I normally do, just to really work with gravity, and we can really get the diffuser, the heat, all right, through towards the root area. Well, look at that though. So you can see a lot of the natural wave she has. You can also do like a little massage here to see, to stimulate the root area. And you can continue. So anything I need to know, Jen? Any comments? Anything?
No.
No? People still watching?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. So by moving this, what I'm doing is just massaging it. So you don't want to unless you don't like your client, then you can be a little heavy-handed. But I like her, so I want her to be happy. So I'm just doing a very light massage. Okay, don't be heavy-handed when you're doing that. I'm just really trying to stimulate some of the root. But yeah, so I don't want to go too crazy with the scrunching. I don't want to be using my fingers too much. But sometimes we just need to use it to really, kind of encourage the more texture and curl. But she's got lovely, healthy hair. Absolutely gorgeous. So I like using mousse in more creating when working with waves of curls. The reason why is because especially with mousse, it helps dry the hair faster, also give a very lightweight hold to the hair without, this one doesn't feel crispy at all. And then you see that afterwards, you can actually add a touch of mousse to the dry hair just to calm down any frizzies. Because one, it dries fast. But also, like I said, afterwards I'm going to be using, honestly, I'm going to be using my favorite product, which is the Texture Tonic, to really kind of give a bit more of a little more lived-in look. Very natural. She's a young girl from Germany. She's here in Edinburgh, Scotland. She's ready to party. Go crazy. And you can kind of see some of that color coming out, so. Cool. Alright, so yeah, I do apologize guys, it does take a little time for the blow drying, but this is just a great way. It's a very healthy way to, this is something I would talk to my guests about, educate them. I'm like, listen, use a diffuser. especially for the summertime. You know, you don't want to keep on putting so much heat on your hair. You know, work with the diffuser for the summertime. Let your hair dry natural if you can. Using like leave-in conditioners, especially if you have used leave-in conditioner, if you just color their hair. I want it to be protected from the sun, protected from the pollution, protected from, you know, any dehydration, that especially when she's traveling by plane. You know, my hair goes awful when I travel by plane. So. My skin.
Your mustache hair.
Oh, my mustache, yeah. So I'm just really working this here, and then you'll see. Yeah, there we go. It's getting there. Working it, baby. It was funny. If you see me making a devilish face over here, it's because Sophie's sister, what happened was all the hairdressers will understand. We were shampooing the color off Sophie's hair at the backwash. And it's very relaxing lighting in that backwash area. And the hair was wet. So hairdressers would know, yeah? So of course, hair looks darker when it's wet. She comes over, she goes, oh, it doesn't look anything different. So, this looks darker. So, I told you I was going to get you back, yeah? But I think the thing is what I love about this is like, you know, working with, what I love about using Invader Color now is that working with, like, I mean, it's absolutely amazing. It's very natural looking color. You know, if you want it a bit more intense, you can. I mean, a lot of times, if anyone knows me, I love my coppers, right? I love the intense coppers. But, once again, it's about trying to choose colors for your guests, you know, especially listen to your guests. Like, you know, they may not want, like, you know, in your face, you know, but also it's not like, even though Sophie, for example, is an art student, she doesn't want to look like an art student because all the art students on her course, they're all like, you know, I don't know, crazy looking or like very, you know, so it doesn't necessarily have to feel like that. So kind of like, you want to create stuff for your guests that, you know, can fit their personalities and also what they're, you know, what they do, their lifestyle. So you can see we're getting there, that is, you can see the body coming out now. I think that's quite nice. And that's why I love working with the Aveda products, because they're not heavy products. They're not heavy products at all. So like, you know, I have like, there's like weightlessness in here. So I want her hair to be able to move naturally. And yeah, so just working, like I said, natural feeling. I'm going to continue this. I'm loving the way it's drying. So I'm going to really now, really start trying to work that texture in there. So, any questions, guys? So for anyone from the UK watching, or you know, even if you're coming from the United States, we have our summertime offer, which is 50% off all our courses if you purchase them in August. Yeah. Alright, so for any of the Americans who want to come to Edinburgh, Scotland and see Jennifer and myself, you can come and see Jordan Alexander at our new salon here. Come on now. Now, so we are doing a 50% offer on all our courses for the month of August. And now for any of you that want to come in August, you'll also be attending the Fringe Festival, which is an exciting event here in Edinburgh, Scotland. It's like a non-stop party each day here in Edinburgh, Scotland. And you know me, I'm a party animal, right, Jen? And so there's like 1,000 shows per day for the whole month of August here. And yeah, so it's all comedy acts, it's like burlesque, it's like circuses, it's like
drama.
Drama. What else? Help? Anyone?
Music?
Huh?
Music?
Oh, music as well. It's crazy here. There's like an extra million people here in Edinburgh, Scotland for the month of August. So, have you been here? Oh, good luck. Yeah. Yeah. So one of our guests here, she just moved here for uni, and she's never been here in August time. Have fun. Okay, so you can see the way it's drying, you know. I mean, I'm still going to be doing a little bit more manipulating, like encouraging that texture. But I hope you guys are liking it. Please give a thumbs up if you're liking this, all right? Or if you don't give a thumbs up. Jen likes it. Okay. Okay. My audience, the sisters, the crazy German girls, they like it. Okay, so as we move on, so we're almost there, guys. I do apologize. Just like I said about diffuse drying, it's always tricky watching it on a video because it's kind of like watching paint dry. But I think this one's been more exciting because you can really see how that volume was coming out with the shape of the haircut. And I think that's the thing, is just get excited about doing hair. But then even like if you're not a hairdresser, get excited about, you know, styling your hair naturally. Embrace your natural texture. Sorry, I'm tangled up my cords here. So, okay, now, since I'm older, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something really fun. Now, especially when you are working with clients, if you want a little more volume, we're going to do it the old school way. So if you just kind of slowly tilt your head this way, you feel like that? Yeah? Okay, now 1 second. Okay, I might just do a little bit of, like I said, that's the Texture Tonic Spray from Aveda. And you know what, a little bit cheeky. I'm going to put a little bit of a whoop, little hairspray. Now, I'm doing that just to, especially for the root area. And then what I'm then going to do, okay, so just careful, I don't want to fall over. Okay, and then here, so really kind of, I want this a little bit more bigger, a little more natural. And this is something your guests can do at home, or you can do in the salon, you can have a bit of fun. It probably just shows my age. But it's just about having fun with styling hair and embracing your guest's natural hair texture. You know, I mean, of course we always want what we don't have. You know, but the thing is, it's, you know, by teaching your guests that to embrace their natural color, and not the natural color, the natural texture, because we want our guests to have color. So, alright, so then we're going to tilt back. Here we go. Then what I'm going to do now is remove the diffuser. Now I can play around, I mean like right here. Okay, so what you can also do is like certain areas you can use a bit of a round brush, do like a little flick. I mean, I'm actually just letting a natural flick. And then, because the thing is with this type of style, like, I mean, like let it just like, I want it to become, work with the natural feeling of it all. And just by not overdoing it with brushes and heat, I just want to kind of let my fingers do all the work and let her natural texture do all the work. So just kind of playing around. You kind of like got this like little flip thing going on, which is great. So I hope, did we get any thumbs up at all? Good? Well,
yes.
Like I said, it's all about being natural. I really love natural styling. I think the thing is, okay, so I don't want to dry it out too much. So Now I'm just going to slightly just use the mirror first. Oh, that's it. There we go. Yeah. We're not loud, huh? So once again, okay. So you can do a couple different options when styling this type of look for your guests. Okay. Now a couple things. So like just say what I like to do is before I put the final hairspray on, what I'll either do is I'll use the texture tonic again. All right. So it kind of gives that little bit more of a slight little more of a hold. Or if I want to kind of give it, if your guest has tendency to maybe get a little bit greasy at the root, what I'll do is I will use a bit of the dry shampoo first. You know, I mean, don't go crazy. You know, we don't want it to look like, you know, snow time here and Christmas time on your hair. You know, just a little bit, just to give that extra, like almost like support, especially during the summertime. Then, here we go. So we're going to take Air Control, which is now, this is like a medium light full hairspray, so it's nothing crazy. It's not like, she's not going to like feel like, you know, 70s Aquanet, you know, back in the day, you know, rock solid. So, just keep it very natural, you know, kind of like, almost like, could be like a little bit of like a mixture of like, kind of like Rock Chick, Stranger Things, I don't know. All right, okay then, so, and I think right there, I'm on, look at the time, and you can always just do, if you want a little more body, a little bit more, I don't know, a little more craziness, what you could do is as well, spray it on your fingers, okay, work it through in the root area, like a little like massage, like a little tease, you know, go crazy, and you could give a little bit more extra volume to the hair. So, yeah, cool. Cool, and this is all, like I said, sorry that I was choking here with this, but, once again, so this is my final look. Thank you very much. So just as a small little recap. Okay, I started in the front, so I worked with diagonal sections, over directing everything forward. All right. Each section, I was slightly raising up my elevation. So first section here, then as I go back, after I was done with that, then I worked with vertical sections, working with round layering. Okay. You see, as I went forward, I wasn't taking a lot of the layering because my internal graduation, because of my elevation, was helping me with that. Then afterwards, I applied, okay, the texture tonic spray from Veda and from Molia, which is like almost a styling foam, used my diffuse dryer. Then, like I said, you have a couple different options. Okay, I could have done this whole haircut with a razor. All right, it's up to you how you want to do the haircut. I mean, what tools, what styling tools. I could have waved it. I could have done a big bouncy blow dry. It's up to you. But the technique for the cutting, it's all about the sections and about the elevation and the shapes. Okay. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. And yeah. So if there's any last minute questions, anything good? No? No. Okay then. So I just want to say a big thank you to my lovely Sophia here, all the way from Germany, and please, you know, she's going to be a famous artist when she finishes school. And yeah, a big thank you to her lovely partners in crime over there, you know, waiting patiently while she got her hair done. And a big thank you to my soulmate Jennifer, who's my lovely camera lady. And yeah, so a big thank you to Hairbrain for allowing me to be energetic and to share, you know, my education with you. Like I said, I'm not the world's best hairdresser, but the thing is, the one thing about me is I will always keep on trying to improve my skills by helping others. All right, everyone, so thank you very much for today. And yeah, so hopefully we'll see you next Friday for our next lesson. Thank you.
Bye-bye.